Hey everybody, got a weird message on Facebook and I'm hoping everything is okay and you're hearing me okay. Let me make sure by going to Facebook itself and see what's going on here. And you let me know. Yeah, looks like I'm live, doing okay. Can you hear me, everybody? Okay, good. All right. Well, let's get started. And thanks for bearing with me. Let me share the screen here. Okay. So I've been using quotes based on authors, theologians, philosophers, poets' birthdays. And today is Alfred North Whitehead's birthday. He is a philosopher known for his work in what is called process theology. I'm not going to discuss that or describe that. It would take all of our time. But in essence, it looks at God as uh, immanent with us here and now, first and foremost, and that God is dynamic and experienced within each of our spirits and hearts. It's kind of mystical theology, but modernized for the 20th century, 21st century. But anyway, he's a brilliant philosopher, and he has this quote that I really love, and you see some of that process theology in it. But let's read it together and then read it again quietly and contemplate the words. God is in the world or nowhere, creating continually in us and around us. Insofar as man partakes of this creative process, does he partake of the divine, of God, and that participation is his immortality. Sorry for the masculine gendered language there. It's somewhat dated. But I'll let you read it quietly to yourself and just take a few minutes to contemplate it. So some thoughts that I'd like to share is that in many ways, the Christian life amounts to us getting out of the way and letting God work through us and letting God um, work within us and on us and um, grab a hold of our heart where God does his holiest work, and in the process of transforming us, we become what I like to call conduits of God's love into the world. And that's pretty much what this is getting at, that the creative process as well as the compassion process is God working through us as we allow God to. And so from the inside out, we affect the world in positive ways, in creative ways, in compassionate ways. That idea of God working in the hearts of men and women comes to mind. In essence, I think this is what Alfred North Whitehead is getting at. We are the hands and the heart of God on earth, basically. So I changed the meditative recitation a bit. The verse that we've been using, incorporating the idea of breath. It says in 1 John that God is, actually John, the Gospel of John, I believe, chapter 15, that God is spirit, or another way of saying that, God is breath. So utilizing that and the idea that God in creation breathed the breath of life into us. It's really a beautiful practice to focus and go back to our breath, because it in many ways connects us to God. So be still and know God is breath, or God is spirit. Be still and know God is. Be still and breathe. Be still and be. So the method we'll use is the same as we've been using. After each bell's ringing, we'll recite the line and go through each line 3 times. So I'll ring us in with 3 rings and settle myself, and I invite you to settle yourself in your seat comfortably. Then I'll ring the first time and you'll recite the first line. Let us do this. Be still and know God is breath. Be still and know that God is. Be still and breathe. Be still. Be. Be still and know that God is breath. Be still and know that God is. Be still and breathe. Be still. Be. Be still and know that God is breath. Be still and know that God is. Be still and breathe. Be still. Be. That's quite a lovely piece. I wasn't able to hear it well. Hope you were. Having some technical difficulty on my end. I hope you are not. So, centering prayer, for those who are joining us for the first time, it's a contemplative prayer practice where we use a sacred word or a short sacred phrase, even a part of a Bible verse like "Be still and know." Um, but we use it as sort of an anchor that keeps us close to God in prayer. But if we find our mind wandering or getting ahead of ourselves or lost in thought, we use that anchor to bring us back to the present moment. And that anchor is the word we've chosen or that sacred phrase we've chosen. So if we find our mind wandering, that word brings us back home, sort of like the prodigal son returning home to God's embrace, the Father's embrace. So like I said, it's an anchor that brings us back to the present when we find our mind going astray. So we'll do this for about 7 minutes, and I pray that it is meaningful to you. Again, I'll ring us in. Prayer is such a beautiful practice, especially when the world seems overwhelming. There's a song I learned as a kid growing up in church. You are my hiding place. And prayer is if God is our hiding place, prayer is sort of our route home to that hiding place. And it's such a vital practice for us as Christ's followers to return home to that hiding place, to rest in God, and do it in a meaningful and regular way. And I hope this weekly offering is an impetus for you to do it more often, maybe even daily. And maybe we'll incorporate another session as we go along here, another morning session maybe. Let me know if that's something you'd like. But it's February, of course, and for our Sabbath poem to close with, there's a poem by one of my favorite poets, Denise Levertov, titled February Evening in New York. And it's quite evocative of life in the city of New York, but I think in any town or active community. But it's quite lovely, and so let me bring that up. February Evening in New York. As the stores close, a winter light opens air to iris blue, glint of frost through the smoke, grains of mica, salt of the sidewalk. As the buildings close, released autonomous feet pattern the streets in hurry and stroll. Balloon heads drift and dive above them. The bodies aren't really there. As the light brightens, as the sky darkens, a woman with crooked heels says to another woman while they step along at a fair pace, "You know, I'm telling you, what I love best is life. I love life. Even if I ever get to be old and wheezy or limp, you know, limping along, I'd still out of hearing to the multiple disordered tones of gears changing a dance to the compass points out, four-way river, prospect of sky, wedged into avenues, left at the ends of streets, west sky, east sky, more life tonight, a range of open time at winter's outskirts." Yes, amen. Well, I hope you have a wonderful week. Keep safe, be well, and we'll see you next time. Blessings. Bye.